YouTube. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zay Tyson's Re-Exception channel. And here on this channel, we like to react to other reactions that's already on YouTube. And today, we're going to be, of course, I'm probably going to do Poetic Flacco Mac or something like that. This time, it's Poetic Flacco. And what we're going to be doing today is checking out this Joe Rogan podcast and seeing, is this guy a Mossad agent? Or is he just a regular guy that answered the questions wrong? I don't know, but go ahead, get your thought together, as Mac would say, and let's get right into it.
Joe Rogan gets furious after realizing his guest is compromised in real time.
I, like a lot of other people, had assumed that someone murdered him. But you start looking at the evidence for that, look, maybe there more will come out. And even this last few days, there's some new things that people point to, but they actually are not actually evidence of it.
You might not understand now, but you will understand by the end of this video. Buddy is 100% an asset, in my opinion. 100%, bro. It doesn't make sense. His opinion has changed so drastically. Somebody had to step in, offer him a bag, bro. Buddy used to be one of the most pro. Epstein didn't do this to himself. They took out Epstein to protect their secrets. Epstein was COINTELPRO. He was a spy. That used to be his public stance. They came in, threw a bag at him, in my opinion, and now his stance has completely changed.
They said, Epstein's brother's attorney or Epstein's brother's examiner said that that he broke his hyoid bone, and the hyoid bone is not usually broken in hangings, only in strangulations. Actually, it is broken in hangings, particularly for older people.
Broken in 3 places.
Yeah, and that's like,
and it's low on his neck.
Yeah, and that happens.
Also, the lady who was the guard deposited money into her account.
I saw that, but that doesn't. What does that mean?
Okay, well,
she
also Googled his name before he died.
All that's totally
okay, but
it's like, let me Scooby-Doo.
Why are you dismissing? I don't understand why you're dismissing this. Because if you're going to pay,
dismissing it. I'm saying,
but hold on, you are. Yeah. But hold on, you are, because if you do have a guard, and all of a sudden this guard acquires several payments. She made several deposits. One of them was $5,000 just 10 days before he died, and then the cameras are cut. Okay, and then they mysteriously don't pay attention to the cell of one of the most important defendants of any case, any gigantic public case involving enormously famous public figures.
Him having a difference in opinion isn't even the real issue here. Joe Rogan gets frustrated once Joe Rogan realized this dude is arguing in bad faith. A, it's not even clear if he truly believes what he's saying. 2, he omits certain things out on purpose. So
I was just about to say, he ain't just omitting what he's saying. He trying to defect from everything he done already said.
Oh, it looks the other way. And if you're somebody who truly cares about,
they got to the man. That's all it is. I ain't gonna say he an agent. They could be threatening him, tell him they can do something to his family, bring him home to his family, or just running his well dry. They could be doing anything. But he already sound compromised.
The truth, if you're somebody who's not bought out, if you're somebody who has no ulterior motive, if you aren't being paid to spew this narrative, then why are you leaving things out on purpose and then admitting you knew it and you left it out on purpose? Like, that's where Joe Rogan got really frustrated at. Now, listen, man, if you're dumb enough to think that Epstein did this to himself, then, I just consider you a nincompoop, an idiot, and then move on. But I look at you a little crazy, and I get really upset as well. Once I realize you're saying things even you don't believe, and you're coming across as really compromised. Every topic they touched on, this dude just came across as an absolute asset. On Epstein, on Trump, on Iran, everything. There's not a subject they touched on where the dude didn't come across as a freaking agent.
It's so easy to become a...
I might just have to tune into this whole YouTube channel. The Joe Rogan podcast, I might have to tune into that and watch the whole thing, because I like to see certain conspiracies come to light that we already know. So, would you consider it a conspiracy if we already know it's true? Or it's a fact?
hangs himself while he's on suicide watch?
Now remember, he tried to commit suicide.
I understand, but why are you not letting me finish what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Because that alone is weird.
Because he deflected. Yep.
Video of it, the whole thing is weird. You don't think it's weird?
Well,
You don't think it's weird that this guy that he just finds a way to hang himself in this cage?
I thought I had that same story. I was like, the cameras are cut, the security guards are asleep.
All those things are true.
All those things are true. It's also true that the cameras went out a long time before that night. It didn't just go out that night before. Security guards fall asleep at night all the time. He attempted suicide, I believe, 18 days before.
18 days before, he said that his roommate tried to kill him. Did you know that? Do you know his roommate was a cop that had killed 4 people in contract killings? His cop roommate, his cellmate, was a murderer. He was a guy who was a drug-dealing cop who had...
And they probably sent him into Epstein's cell and sent him around Epstein to get Epstein next.
Killed 4 people in contract killings. And that was...
Either way you look at it, either Epstein was threatened by somebody way more powerful than him to get to this point, and he did it to himself out of sheer, fear of what may happen to whoever he was in contact with, as far as family and certain friends. They attacked them first, but he probably did that to keep the truth from coming out and to protect his family. But if he didn't do to himself, they did it. I mean, history repeats itself.
Jailmate, and 18 days before he said that guy tried to kill him.
But he said
that's
his. But is there any
look
doubt
at
that
that guy?
Yeah.
That is his cellmate. Why would you put a
Off ripper? If I ever get locked up and I get a cellmate like that, look at him and look at me. Buddy, go catch that toothbrush.
guy who's one of the most high-profile defendants in any case ever in a cell with a hired killer who's a giant gorilla, like this huge, jacked Italian guy?
But he
Why
wasn't in the cell with him that night. He was by himself in the cell
He
that
was
night.
the guy who 18 days before Epstein said tried to kill him.
But Epstein tried to kill himself.
Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell. They labeled it as an attempted self-deletion. That's what they posted. However, when Epstein came back to his senses, he said, I didn't try to take my own life. No. Bro, I'm not having mental health issues. No. My cellmate, who they put me in, who's the hired killer, he tried to murder me. That's why I was unresponsive. He did.
They couldn't take it to trial. Epstein was going to bring some folks down with him. I mean, what really did he have to lose?
Did it to me. What you talking about? But the guest is aware of this. The guest is aware that Epstein said this. He's aware of the developments, but he intentionally omits everything and tries to stick to the original story because it makes his narrative look better. It makes whatever narrative he's being paid to spew, it makes it look better. And Joe gets really angry because like, hold on. If you knew about Epstein saying this dude in his cell did it, then why did you intentionally omit it? Then why are you saying that Epstein tried to take his own life and self-delete himself 18 days before, when 18 days before, that's the incident that Epstein lived through, and Epstein gave the real account of what took place. Dude, instead of admitting, yeah, okay, maybe it wasn't a self-deletion, maybe somebody did try to murder Epstein 18 days prior, dude then throws out this theory that Epstein is actually lying about this dude trying to murder him.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, right?
I don't know if there's, I've never seen him say it, but I do know that he said that guy tried to kill him, and they found him unresponsive 18 days before. He said that guy tried to kill him.
And couldn't he have lied about
that guy was
that?
trying to get money.
Couldn't he have lied about that?
Why would he lie? What reason did he have to lie about somebody trying to kill him in there? We already knew it was going to be some people to try to kill him. Everybody knew. I'm confused. Dude is definitely deflecting and trying to play for the other side. We already know that. Question is why? What do they have on them? Sorry, y'all. realized I could skip this. I'm sitting here watching it. It actually looked like a pretty cool game. I should download and try. But on to the video.
Video outside cell during Jeffrey Epstein's first suicide attempt no longer exists. How weird. Yeah, why would he lie about that? He's in
Because he doesn't want to have a
guy
roommate.
who he's already saying this guy's trying to extort him.
Yeah.
He's already saying this guy's trying to get money from him. And this guy is a known killer. He's killed 4 people in contract killings. How did you not know about that?
I will say it's possible.
But hold on, how did you not know about that?
I did know about that.
You knew about the guy being a contract killer?
Well, no,
that was his cellmate?
Yeah, I knew that story, but I mean, he didn't have a cellmate at the night of his death, right? That was one of the mistakes they made, is that because he was supposed to be on suicide watch, he was supposed to have a cellmate, didn't have a cellmate. I think that, look,
I don't know, but 18 days before he did have a cellmate, and 18 days before he said that guy tried to kill him.
But 18 days before he tried to commit suicide. That's my understanding.
I don't know if that's true, though.
Joe Rogan is just an idiot. Dude is not naive. Dude knows they're talking about the same incident. Buddy knows what the reports are. The report came out initially when Epstein was still unresponsive. The reports came out, oh, Epstein tried to take his own life. But then when Epstein came back to his senses, Epstein says, no, that's not true. Buddy tried to murder me. This absolute agent, this asset, he's not dumb. He realized, but he's playing on Joe Rogan uninformedness or Joe Rogan naiveness. So he says, yeah, I heard that story. Yeah, I know about the dude who tried to murder Epstein in a cell. But Epstein also tried to commit. No, those two things cannot be true. They're not mutually exclusive. No. Right. If you believe that Epstein tried to self-delete himself 18 days prior, then you don't believe what Epstein says, right? Then like you don't believe that Epstein.
And if you believe that, after seeing all these movies, I mean, they tell the truth in every movie that they put out. Just about. I'm not gonna say every movie, but 90% of the movies that they put out are facts that they just put into a storyline, and they just use hyperbole very well, and put the shit in the movies.
Epstein actually almost got murdered by his cellmate, right? But you can't believe those two things are true. As he tried to pass off as if there were two different incidents, when they were not. They're the same incident. They're the same incident. The first report was Epstein tried to self-delete, and then Epstein clarified the record and said, no, my cellmate tried to murder me. So then once Joe Rogan like catches on and realizes, oh no, these are the same incident we're talking about, Buddy then switches to he believes that Epstein lied and his cellmate was not trying to murder him.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know why they would put him in jail with a contract killer.
Well, I mean, who's in that jail? Aren't the people in that jail pretty rough?
His cellmate is a contract killer. Why would he be in a cell with a...
They got 2 different types of charges. Murder and that don't mix.
Cop who's a contract killer.
I mean, aren't there a lot of
the
bad
night
guys
Jeffrey Epstein claimed his cellmate tried to kill him. New documents reveal Jeffrey Epstein claimed his cellmate tried to kill him in an incident before his death.
Yeah, but we don't.
Okay, but
we don't know if that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which could be the reason why he got the fuck up out of there. But I'm pretty sure that dude killed him. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Why are you dismissing it, though?
I'm not dismissing it, Joe. Look, maybe more evidence will come out. I'm just saying, if you look at the evidence we have...
You're looking to dismiss it.
No, I'm saying I was confident it was a homicide, and now I'm not.
Were you aware of this?
Yeah, of course, all that stuff.
You were aware that he tried to kill him?
Of course.
You were aware that he said
that he said that.
Well, how come you never brought it up before? You seemed shocked when I brought it up.
Well, because my understanding is it was a suicide attempt 18 days before.
Okay. But if he said this guy tried to kill him 18 days before...
Why he keeps saying that? Like, that's going to change anything. That's crazy word.
Why didn't you take that into consideration?
No, it is. I mean, I'm just saying that was part of... No, when
it doesn't seem like you took it into consideration at all, and you're looking to dismiss it.
I didn't know. My view earlier was that it was a homicide because the hyoid bone doesn't break when you have hangings. He said he didn't want to commit suicide. The video went out. The security guards are asleep. I mean, there was a huge investigation of this by the Inspector General. So the number of people that would have had to been involved in this conspiracy and cover-up is very large, and it's a large number of people who are in this job to be do-gooders. And so Look, maybe there will.
Okay.
So
stop
maybe there was some
right
evidence
there.
that will
They're
come
not in
out.
the job to be.
Oh yeah, they are.
Sometimes they're in the job to be do-gooders. Sometimes they're influenced by very powerful figures that want a particular result.
Yeah.
Does that not happen?
But we
But
underestimate.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Does that not
Of
happen in the
course,
real
of course,
world?
of
It
course,
does,
yeah.
right? And wouldn't you imagine if you're dealing with multiple billionaires that may be compromised by the evidence that this guy's going to relay in a trial, that would be one of the times that they would want to exert that kind of influence?
It's possible, and like I said in our piece, we wrote it's possible.
Of course, he didn't take that into consideration. He didn't take it into consideration because the facts would debunk his script. The script they gave him is, listen, man, you got to come on this folks podcast and you got to tell the world that you believe that Epstein self-deleted himself and that you were somebody who believed the conspiracy theories before, but when you looked at the facts changed your mind. All right, bro. Stop it, man. Once you insert the facts, his back was against the wall. You realize that, right? His back is against the wall right now. Now, these dudes, the reason why they will pay a guy like this who used to be on the opposite end of the spectrum is because it gives them more legitimacy. Hey, guys, I was not a part of the Matrix in the swamp. I used to believe this conspiracy theory, but then once I did the facts and the research told me that Epstein actually self-deleted himself, huh?
This is Grand RP, your new life in GTA 5.
Why he do that? He changed his whole voice up.
Does like that make sense? But you know he's really compromised because the minute Joe Rogan pushes him, and the minute Joe Rogan has him up against the wall, now all of a sudden, hey, I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he was murdered or he did it. I'm just saying I used to think this, but now I don't know. I'm gonna wait for the facts. Come on, man. But they have to take that centrist position because, like, that's what gives them credibility. And they know that, man. But this is not the only thing that we witnessed where we realized, yeah, bro is compromised. Even when this dude was discussing Trump and Iran, you quickly realize, bro, this buddy got all the right opinions, man, for that $7,000 check, bro.
But clearly Israel wanted this.
Israel has its own motivations, I think. I think all the evidence shows that Trump is his own man and he is the president.
Which just doesn't make any sense to me unless we're acting on someone else's interests, like particularly Israel's interest. Like if they had supposedly dismantled their chances of making a nuclear bomb, what, if anything, makes sense to you about this attack in Iran?
I mean, I think the president is... There's been some, Rubio said something about how, we had to act because we knew that Israel was going to act anyway. And I think people interpreted it, and then Netanyahu was in the White House a lot. I think this president has shown, whether you like him or not, and there's certainly things that I'm unhappy about and have criticized. But I think Trump is in charge. Like, he's making these decisions. There's nobody behind him. There's nobody pulling for all of that. The Russians or whoever, or the Israelis. It's just he's clearly...
Unless we're acting on someone else's interests, like particularly Israel's interests. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like, if they had supposedly dismantled their chances of making a nuclear bomb, whether or not that's true, or, I mean, it's so hard to know.
He was unsatisfied, and just like he was like, I'm not getting anywhere in these negotiations, and I'm going to replace the person I'm negotiating with. It's just, turn over the table, like change things up. You're not getting anywhere. And you could say he was too impatient. Their view was the Democrats were too patient with Iran. They kept trying with Iran. They weren't giving them what they wanted. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I think that's what explains it. They haven't done a very good job explaining it because I think that it just sounds to some extent like what it is, which is that they're acting without... They're sort of like, well, does it result in regime change in Iran? We don't know. They might say that we want that or whatever, but that's not ultimately. They're not acting on the basis of achieving regime change.
Which just seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on no more wars, and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
Well, but he said he's against endless wars.
Well, they're
running
all,
against endless wars.
listen, man,
During this entire podcast, you slowly see Joe Rogan's enthusiasm kind of just go out of his body. He was really excited to talk to this dude, and by the end, he realized, bro, man, buddy compromised, man. If you can't even admit that the United States is going to war with Iran because of Israel. If you can't admit that, bruh, when the literal United States have already admitted it themselves, then what are we talking about here, right? Like, you're clearly on somebody's payroll. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? But do you all guys think this dude was compromised, or is he making common sense to you? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching my videos and you want to watch another good video, click on this video.